Call to order the Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, September 17th, 2020. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Harlicker, please call the roll.
Yeah, Commissioner Knobloch,
Here.
Commissioner Heikkila,
Here.
Commissioner Schmolke,
Here.
Commissioner Geisler,
Here.
and Chair Schwartz.
Here.
Commissioners Bradley and Casey are not with us tonight. Commissioner Bradley may join us later via Zoom.
Thank you. Our first order of business this evening is to adopt our agenda.
Chair Schwartz.
Commissioner Knobloch.
I propose that we adopt tonight's agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Knobloch, second by Schmolke to adopt the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? The agenda is adopted. Next, we have the minutes from our August 20th meeting.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of the minutes from the August meeting.
Second.
Motion by Geisler, second by Heikkila. Any discussion, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? And the minutes are approved. First order of business is planning case 20-10, a land use plan amendment from low-density residential to high-density residential at 841 Northdale Boulevard, Esso Properties. Mr. Harlicker.
Yes, Chair Schwartz and Commissioners. As of yesterday, we received a letter from the applicant requesting that the two items on tonight, the land use plan amendment and the zone change, be postponed to the October Planning Commission meeting. Also in that letter, they waived their rights to the 60-day hearing requirement.
All right, thank you. We have the public hearing, which was opened last month and continued. At this time, we'll just recontinue the public hearing to the October 15th meeting. Do we need a motion for that?
I don't believe so.
All right. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak tonight, since they're here? Or since we still don't have any information, we really have no knowledge of anything to what you might be speaking on other than what we know from last month, and at this point, it's still continued to next month. If you wish to speak, please give your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes.
Paul Tinquist, 836 Northdale Boulevard.
Go ahead, sir.
Pardon?
Go ahead if you have.
Well, I'm concerned with high density on that part of Coon Rapids. I've lived at Northdale there for a little over 50 years. I've watched everything develop and redevelop and redevelop. And when I look at the Cubis family that has the home right next to that lot, I can't imagine high density being built next to them. How in the world do you maintain any privacy if you got a, I don't want to call it a high rise, but you got a how many layer building possibly? So people who would live in the upper levels look right on down at their lot in their privacy. Just doesn't make sense to me. Plus, I'm not so sure our community right there is designed for more apartments. And to bring more people in, more traffic, but it just doesn't look like it fits there. The structure that's there now is just a home, but there are apartments behind that, and they're back far enough, it works out somewhat, but to bring another structure that close, I just wouldn't agree with that at all.
All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, yeah.
if I might, just to clarify what's going on here for everybody. Blair Butchiconi, Assistant City Attorney for the City of Coon Rapids. First, let me apologize to you folks. The applicants requested it be extended again. And so what the plan is now is this, depending on where the council goes here, or the commission, will be heard at the next meeting. Frankly, we don't know what the agenda item will look like at that next meeting, because with the extension, I imagine there will be changes to it. And we've made a recommendation based upon what they've given to us, but of course, it wouldn't be fair to you folks to expect you to know what they were gonna do. We don't know what they're gonna do. So, Mr. Chair, while the public hearing is open, and you certainly can speak, the idea here is, we don't know what they're actually gonna wind up voting on next time. It may look entirely different.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak here tonight since you're here? Or, as I said earlier, we will just continue the public hearing to our meeting next month, October 15th. All right, Commission.
Mr. Chair?
Commissioners
So I
Smoky.
believe the motion we're looking for then is to extend or postpone planning case 20-10 to the October 15th Planning Commission meeting.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Motion by Smoky, second by Heikela to continue this case to the October 15th meeting. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Meeting is continued. Our second case this evening is the companion case planning case 20-11, the zone change. Changing the zoning from low-density residential 2 to high-density residential at 841 Northdale Boulevard. Mr. Harlick, anything to add for this one?
No, Chair Schwartz.
Once again, the public hearing was opened last month on this case, and our intent is at this time to continue the public hearing again to the October 15th meeting. If anyone wishes to speak on the zoning change portion of this, they certainly can, since you're here. Otherwise, we'll just continue it to next month. Anyone wish to speak to the zoning? Please give your name and address for the record. Limit your comments to 5 minutes, please.
Steve Arney, 852 Northdale Boulevard. I'm like Paul, I've been here since 1958. We're one of the first houses on that block on Northdale, right there by Sand Creek. But I would like to know, before I get here, if there's any way you guys put that out, that we know what's coming up. I mean, I went on the website today, looked at it, it says they're talking about high density, this, that, and whatnot. But it seems like nobody knows what's going on. And that's kind of troubling that we keep coming. Well, they've been here twice now. I watched it last meeting. Now I'm here this week. I need to come back the following week. How long do you keep extending it for these people to keep adding on and adding on? I'm not even sure how that would work.
Well, as Mr. Harlicker stated, he just received a request from the petitioner, the applicant, yesterday. So we really didn't have any time to put out any kind of notice.
But I know last meeting you guys said, how do we let the neighborhood know? If I wouldn't have got a phone call from Mr. Tinquist today, I wouldn't have known there was a meeting gonna be about it. I got the first letter, so I did go online and see that it was gonna be canceled or moved forward. But this one, I didn't have any idea. And I mean, I don't follow when all the meetings are that the city has. Maybe I need to follow it closer again, but I'm just concerned about what's gonna happen with whether we know what's going on or not, until you guys actually have a meeting with the information.
Well, at this point, we have no information, and we simply have to wait until next month to find out what the petitioner or the applicant intends to do.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Schwank?
actually, a question for Mr. Harlicker. Is there, could you maybe explain what the standard practice is for notifying the community when there are changes to the agenda on such notice? Is there a practice or a process?
I wasn't able to pick up what you said.
So, so I apologize. So the question is, again, this is to his question is, what sort of notification could they have received in advance of tonight's meeting, so they didn't make yet another trip here to attend this particular meeting, when we knew just in advance of this that it was going to be recommended to be postponed. So their question is, if that's happening, what notice does the public get so that they don't go out of their way to come to the meeting if they know it's just going to be postponed? My understanding is that the decision to postpone it is still ours, correct? So technically speaking, they would need, if we could have possibly, still proceeded with the agenda as is, but we are agreeing to the petitioner's request to postpone. So from that perspective, there is no time, there is no advance, because you don't know until you're here what direction the commission is going to go, if we were going to postpone it or not. Is that?
That's an accurate
Okay.
summary. Yep.
Great. Does that help to explain? We apologize that you're making another trip out here. The petitioner does have a right to request the postponement, and we're granting that.
Yeah, I guess, but it just, how long is this gonna keep on going? That's my
Appreciate that.
question. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So at this time, then, we will continue the open public hearing until our October 15th meeting,
Do we need a motion?
not for the public
Okay.
hearing.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
And Commission, someone wants to make a motion on the case itself.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Schmolke.
in planning case 20-11, I'll recommend that we postpone until the October 15th meeting.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Schmolke, second by Geisler. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Geisler.
I would just like to add that, to the gentleman's comment, I do believe that we should re-notify the public on this continuation for next month's meeting for both planning cases. I think that would be prudent at this point with whatever's going to happen, just as if we would if it was a fresh application. I would ask that staff look at that at this point, because it's now 3 months on. I think that is a fair and reasonable request for our public to understand what's happening, because this is unusual. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
You can do that.
Commissioner Heikler.
I'm wondering if the, the petitioner still has the right, one more time, to ask us to extend it? How many times can they ask for an extension?
If I might, Mr. Chair. Frankly, it theoretically could go on. They could request extensions and request extensions. It's your decision as to how to handle that. So should it come in October, they request another extension, you don't necessarily have to grant that. The law on the topic is if we don't act within that 60-day rule, then the application is granted. So the timeline is in their favor. It doesn't really speak to the other side of things. But I can certainly look into that, and I'll make sure to, before that October meeting, if there is a limitation, if I anticipate that's going to be an issue.
Thank you.
I'll just say right now that for both this case and the previous case, with 2 extensions now, I'm gonna go on record and say if they were to ask for a 3rd extension next month, I would be denying or voting to deny any further extensions or continuances. But that's to be determined at that point. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? And this case is also continued to the October 15th meeting. Thank you for coming, folks, and we're sorry for the inconvenience. And hopefully we'll have some kind of resolution next month. And moving on to other business. Mr. Harlicker, anything for other business?
We did get the building permit for Caribou Coffee. You've got the building permit for the 6-unit townhouse development off of 109th. And those are the 2 new permits that we've got since last month. It's slowed down considerably since the summertime.
And other than these 2 cases, do we have anything else on the schedule for next
No,
month?
it'll be, October will be just these 2 cases.
And Commission, anyone have anything for other business?
I just drove by a large pile of dirt where the new child care center that we approved a few months back has commenced.
Hanson?
Okay, well, there we go.
Well, if no one has any other business, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Motion by Geisler, second by Knobloch. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Meeting's adjourned.